Welcome to another deep dive into the world of AI and medicine. I'm your host, Isabel, and today we have a very special episode. We're talking about something that sounds super technical but is actually really important for anyone who cares about the future of healthcare. How do we actually test AI tools that help doctors? I mean, we can't just ask the AI, "Hey, are you being helpful?" Right? That's where our guests come in. Let me introduce them. First up, the man who can make a neural network sound like a bedtime story, JJ.
Nay, hello Isabel, and hello everyone. It's always a pleasure to be here, especially when we get to talk about the messy, beautiful reality of making AI work in the real world.
And joining us from the front lines of AI ethics and practical deployment, the brilliant Jai Young. She's the one who asks the hard questions before anyone else even thinks of them.
Do it, thanks Isabel, I'm excited to dig into this. Because let's be honest, a lot of AI evaluation is, well, it's a bit of a black box. This paper is refreshingly concrete.
Exactly. So the paper is called Case-Specific Rubrics for Clinical AI Evaluation. And the problem they're tackling is huge. To test an AI that helps doctors write notes or suggest diagnoses, you usually need a human expert to look at every single output. That's slow and expensive. So these researchers came up with a clever workaround. They had 20 clinicians write a specific rubric for each of 823 clinical cases. Think of a rubric like a checklist. What makes a good note for a patient with a sore throat? What makes a bad one? They wrote the rules for each case.
And the key insight here, Isabel, is that they didn't just write the rubrics and hope for the best. They validated them. They checked that an AI scoring agent using the rubric would consistently give a higher score to the output the clinician preferred and a lower score to the one they rejected. It's like training a judge. You give them the rule book, then you test them on a few practice rounds to make sure they're using it correctly.
Right, so the rubric is the rulebook and the AI scoring agent is the judge. And the results were pretty impressive. The clinician-authored rubrics could tell the difference between good and bad outputs with a median score gap of over 80%. That's huge. And the scoring was super stable. But then they did something really interesting. They asked, what if we let an LLM, like a big language model, write the rubrics instead?
And this is where it gets spicy. Because the obvious question is, if you're using an AI to write the test for another AI, aren't you just creating a big circle of self-validation? The paper addresses this head-on. They compared how often the LLM-written rubrics agreed with the human experts versus how often two human experts agreed with each other, and the numbers were surprisingly close. The LLM-Clinician agreement was actually slightly higher than the clinician-clinician agreement in some cases.
That's wild. So the AI rubrics were almost as good as the human ones.
Almost, but with a crucial caveat. The paper points out that this convergence might be partly due to ceiling compression. When the AI systems are already performing very well, it's harder to see differences between them. It's like grading a class where everyone gets an A. The rubric might still be good, but it's harder to tell if it's perfect. The other factor is that the LLM rubrics themselves got better over time, probably because they were learning from the human-authored examples.
Exactly, and the cost difference is staggering. The paper says LLM rubrics are about 1,000 times cheaper. That means you can run many more tests on many more cases much faster. That's a game changer for iterative development. You can test a new version of the AI every week instead of every year. But, and this is a big but, the paper is very clear that the human-authored rubrics are the gold standard. They establish the baseline. The LLM rubrics are a powerful, cost-effective supplement, not a replacement.
So the takeaway is, we need both. The human experts to set the standard and catch the subtle, context-dependent things that an AI might miss. And the LLM to scale that evaluation, to make it fast and cheap enough to actually keep up with how quickly these AI tools are changing. It's a partnership. A very practical, very smart partnership. Thank you both so much for breaking this down.
Thank you, Isabel. It's a fascinating step forward.
Do it, thanks for having me. It's good to see research that's actually thinking about how to deploy this stuff responsibly.
And thank you for watching, everyone. If you found this helpful, please like and subscribe. We'll see you next time on the channel. Everyone, thank you.